Welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, my name is Charles, and you're watching Outlining Our Community. And today's story, we're going to talk about why. Today's topic is why women get less time than men. So, why they get less time behind bars. So, let's look it up, and then we're going to talk about it. So, let's talk about it. Our criminal courts more lenient on women. 2015 study published in the Journal of Criminal Justice that looks at gender disparities in pretrial release and in jail sentencing decisions. While women have made great strides in achieving gender equality in many areas of American society, gender stereotypes remain pervasive. Voters sometimes have different expectations of female political candidates. Business remains dominated by men. Women are vastly under represented in the so-called STEM fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. Women often make less money. Women also make less money than men working the same jobs. According to the White House, a woman earns an average of 78 cents for each dollar a man makes. Sometimes, however, gender stereotypes benefit women, particularly in the area of criminal justice. Scholars have found that women receive shorter sentences for the XEX crimes than a man. A 2014 study suggests that federal courts are more lenient on female defendants in general. They are less likely to incarcerate women and tend to give women shorter sentences than men. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Criminal Justice, from initial appearance to sentencing, do female defendants experience disparate treatment, takes a broader look at gender disparities within the criminal justice system. The four researchers, Natalie Gould of the University of West Florida and John Woodridge, James Frank, and Lawrence Travis III of the University of Cincinnati, explored outcomes at two key stages of the criminal justice process. They examined decisions that judges made at a defendant's first appearance, hearing, and during sentencing. Previous studies had investigated gender disparities in judicial decisions connected with only one of those two events, potentially neglecting the intersection of the outcomes at each phase. The researchers analyzed 3,593 felony cases that had been referred in 2009 to the county office of the prosecutor of large urban jurisdiction in the northern United States. Findings include women are likely women were less likely to be detained before trial. They were 46% excuse me, less likely than men to held in jail prior to a trial. Women who are released on bond were given lower bond amounts. The bonds were set at amounts that were 54% lower than what men were required to pay. Women were 58% less likely to be sentenced to prison. For defendants who were sentenced to prison, there generally was no gender disparity in the length of sentence. There were disparities in sentencing for some individual types of crime. However, for example, female defendants convicted of theft received longer prison sentences than male defendants convicted of theft. Women convicted of other property offenses, a category of crimes that includes arson, receiving stolen property, and breaking and entering, receiving shorter prison sentences. Black female defendants were in some Black female defendants were in some ways treated differently than white female defendants. Higher bond amounts and were more likely to be sent to prison than white women. Women of both races were equally likely to be released prior to trial. So I think that if a woman commit the same murder case, okay, commit the same murder offense as a man, co-defendant, she shall also get that same amount of time because we're not teaching women value. We're not teaching women right from wrong when they commit crimes, just as a man can commit. And I just think that I don't think it's fair that men get more time in prison than a woman who commit the same type of crime. If she's bold enough to commit this crime, she is bold enough to do the time. So I chose to do the story because I feel like there's not enough being said about this you know type of stuff that's going on in our court systems. Too many, too many um cases are going on with female defendants are getting off scot free and not doing prison time. They're doing county time and going home. Where a man is getting convicted and going upstate for years. And the reason I chose to do this video today is because I want to say that yesterday or Wednesday, in the case where the rapper, I believe it was the Rico case. Um, the juror, female black juror, um, basically took her phone out in the back of the courtroom, where the jurors be at in the little room, and did a live video. Judge got the judge she got on her, and she was under contempt, and she was sentenced to 3 days in jail. Two things would have happened differently. One, if the judge was black. Two, if the defendant was a black male, aka juror, they would have sent that black man, that black juror, for contempt of court to serve the maximum sentence, which would have been 2 years in the county jail. And so the reason I chose to do this is because I think that as long as we're slapping our women on the back with these petty sentences, they're going to continue, right? They're going to continue breaking the law and not being held accountable. So we got to break the cycle. We got to hold these women accountable, like we were held men accountable. And so I just think that more of this conversation needs to be heard. And I believe in November is election day when we vote. So I think we need more men, not just black men, but men in general, to vote for change in the justice system. We need to give women more time in prison as we would give a man in prison, because I think that we're seeing we're seeing a big difference in the justice system when it comes to defendants being sentenced, and we've seen women convicted of murder get a plea deal and doing about 11 to 10 years in prison, rather than a man given 20 to 25 in prison. So I think that we got to hold women not just accountable, but hold them to a higher standard and give them the right amount of time as you would give a man who commits the same crime. Other than that, thank you guys for watching and listening to this video. Um, I think that more needs to be done with our system. We gotta do better. So I'm gonna say, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification, hit the bell, hit the cash app, capital C, pay 106. Other than that, we'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.